Hello, everyone. Today we are doing a simulation of the card game War, and I'm just going to get into it. And I made this a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. And then as the week went on, I realized that I had to do a few things that wasn't necessarily put into the project, but I found a way around it. And sometimes when you're doing stuff like this, you run into issues where you set things up and they're not working the right way, and you just have to have the mindset to um, get it to work and have that logic in there. So, with all that there, these are some of the values for this class called card, right? So, I'll just kind of go through it. We have a value, and this is an array list. And this kind of just goes over the value of some cards. So 2 equals 2, 14 equals ace. But right now, these have nothing to do with any of that. These are just values there, empty values for now, okay? Then I have name, and I have that as a tree map, and I'm just kind of putting in 2 to 2, 3 to 3, yada, yada, yada. It'll make sense when I get further down in this. Then suit, this is pretty easy. We got the diamonds, hearts, spades, and clubs. And then I have diamonds, hearts, spades, and clubs, right? And these are all their own lists. And I did this so I could test it out pretty easily. As you can see here, I used for loops. And the way I did that was basically taking the integers of all these, right? So as starting up here, we're getting the name, the get name. So, and we're putting it into diamonds, right? For example, I'm doing the same thing with hearts. So diamonds dot add to a new list of diamonds. I get the name, get the iterator, and then I press of, then get the suit, that'd be diamonds, get 0 right here. Get 0 would be diamonds. And then for this, same type of thing, except get 1 is the index for hearts. And same thing for spades right here. This is the number 2 index, and clubs. And afterwards, what I decided to do was put it into the deck. So the deck is a linked hash map, and it's a little bit different than these. So you don't do add, you use put. So I would do diamonds dot get iterator and the value and get the iterator of that. So it would come out to get these values, then combine two of diamonds, for example, would equal 2. I did that for each one of them until I got all of the cards in the deck, and this equaled 52 cards when I put it into the deck right here. And then here, just the getters and setters. And then I had to do this for the shuffle because the way I had it set up, it wasn't playing nice with the deck. So I did shuffle right here. And then I just had a list of keys and made an array list of the deck key set. And then I shuffled those keys and took for each key and the keys, we got deck dot get key, right? The index of the key. And then I would return the keys. This may sound complicated. It is a little bit complicated, but it will make sense later. So now it moves on to the deck. And the deck I have shuffled deck, player 1 hand, player 2 hand. And what happened here was I created an instance of the class cards, card, and you call it cards. And then I created the shuffled deck, and you add all the cards of the shuffle method. And then here's just the setters and the getters. Okay, now player, it's also pretty simple too. We have the string name and the hands. And then after everything being shuffled, the way that I had it set up, that this would already shuffle it and hand out all the cards right here. So for every card in the cards get shuffled deck, hand one, add card, hand two, add card. So this would give all the cards to the players at this point, and hand one will get the first, and then hand two will get the second until you use up all 52 cards. Each one will get 26 cards. So then I get into my war game, and this is where it got really interesting, right? So I made instances of objects for players, player one, player two, and then welcome to the war game simulator. And this is right here, just user input, press enter to simulate a game. So I take player one and player two, and I get their hands, get hand one and get hand two. And I have some local variables here of score and card value. So I won't go into too much of this, but this right here is just the game itself. We're just doing 26 turns, right? And then we're going to print out the round and whatever turn that is. So the first thing right here is you might notice this. This is what we're doing to get the card's value. So if player one, get hand one, get 0, that would be the first one, contains 2, then the card value equals 2, and this just goes the same way all the way down. And why do we use get 0 here? Because that's going to be the card on top of the deck, or in the hand, I should say. And we do the same thing for player 2 down here. Same type of thing going on this whole way. So then, right here, we, after each, for each round, we're going to get the card. What card is it, right? We want to know what card's going on here. And then we want to add up the score. So if the player one's card is more valuable than player two card, then the score of player one will go +1. Else, if card value of player one is less than player two, then the player score of 2 +1. Else, they don't get any points. And then we just have right here, this is kind of similar thing. But we're talking about the card value, and we're showing who wins the turn, right? So same stuff is up here, but we're showing who wins the turn. And if no one else does, then the turn is a draw. Okay, so, and after every turn, every round, we're going to show the score, the total score, right? Then we remove the top card out of the deck, out of each hand, and then we press enter to continue a new round, and then it just iterates through that, right? And then finally, this is the final part. So final score is player one score plus player two score, and if score one is greater than score two, player one wins. If score one is less than score two, player two wins. Else the game ends in a draw. So let's show what happens down here. We will run it. It says, welcome to Card Game Simulator. Press enter to simulate the game. We press enter. Round one equals, then player one card equals 5 of clubs. Player two's card, 6 of hearts. Player two wins the turn. Player one score, 0. Player two score equals 1. So now we will just continue. Here's round two. Player two wins again. They had a 9 compared to an 8 of player one. So the score is 2-0 for player two. Keep going. Oh, player two is on a streak. Got a 6 compared to a 5. So now they have 3-0. Let's keep going. Oh, player one finally wins. They had a king to the player two's 9. Keep going. And player two keeps winning, a queen to a 9. And player one wins round 6, 3-2. 3 of hearts to a 2 of clubs, I should say. So the score is 4-2 in favor of player two. So now we'll just keep continuing this until we finish the game instead of looking at every round. But you can look at every round if you want to. That's kind of how I set it up. And the first thing here is round 7, round 8, round 9, round 10, round 11, round 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and it's tied at 20. This is coming down to the wire. We have a few more cards left. Player one's pulled ahead. They added 10 compared to a 7. 22, player one's winning some more. Looks like player one's probably going to win this, or it's going to be a draw. And right there, they have 13 to 9. It's going to be close. And it looks like player one won this. So another thing I kind of didn't mention is my main app is just calling this war game. I figured this would be nice if you want to play different games or something. If you wanted to expand upon this, you can call, a solitaire game or something like that, or some other type of game. It wouldn't have to just be war game, and that's kind of how I set it up. But this is the entirety of my project. It was pretty fun, very challenging. There was ways I probably should have done it a little bit easier for myself, but in the end, I came up with a working project, and that's kind of what the process of coding is. Sometimes you just have to work around things to get where you need to be. I hope you all have a great week, and thank you for listening to my me talking about this stuff, and hopefully next week I get to do something else.